Yeah. Y'all ready to get cooked? Y'all about to get cooked.
Get that in.
Yo, salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. I see you guys. We got a goodie tonight, man. We got our guys, our divisional rival, our foes here in the building. But before we get to these dweebs, salute to my brother Hammer, man. What's good, bro?
What up, big dog? I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Salute to my brother, man, Jake. It's always good to see you, bro. We're going to talk our shit. We're going to have some fun. But this is my guy in real life right here, man. Jake Silva, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm just living in donkey country, causing all these rainstorms because they all know a storm's coming in week 1.
There you go. And we're going to cook, y'all. Salute to NFL Mike, a.k.a. the lesbian vampire himself.
Where's the hair? What? Where? Huh? Where's the hair? No hair.
You tucked it, bro. You were smart guy, man. Salute to my guy, Mike, in the building. How you feeling, Mike?
Feeling great, man. Well, I was feeling great until that intro kind of ruined my night already. So very not happy to be here. Very not happy to see everyone in the chat. We'll see how it goes.
Well,
These usually always go great, and they usually end with me just slamming my head against my wall.
We got a tag team partner with you tonight, so
I'm happy to have Jake with me here because Jake, he's gonna drop some knowledge on you guys, and I'm just gonna sit here and just troll the entire
I
show.
do realize that they're gonna throw us in a black hole, but what they don't realize is that we got some sparks that are gonna be coming up, man. So it's gonna be fire.
Jake, it's a black hole this week. That's cool. I didn't know it was black. Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's orange, sometimes it's green.
Take it how you will.
Now. Let's go. Do I have some? Let's see if
I can. What the hell was that?
I sound effects too, baby. I think what they are. So.
Oh damn! All right, hold up. I gotta get these shades off because I'm seeing too much silver and lac dust all around. Let me get my shades off. There we go. Now I can see y'all crystal clear.
Let me hit the mute button on Mike before he gets us demonetized. You know, some guys over here actually do their thing and get supers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, okay,
it's still going.
Yeah, Mike. Turn the music off, man. Turn the music off.
I love music.
Oh, who has? Yeah, I'm muting you. It is your music.
It is you.
Somebody's got.
This is going to be a long night.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be a long night.
Charger fans, man. Charger fans. Salute to the greatest name in YouTube history. Fuck you, Raiders. Salute to that guy on a $5 special. Bro, you still have music on. What are we doing, Mike? All right, hold on. Let me.
I wonder what's happening right there.
You're good.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. No, you're good. You're good to go.
Do I need to leave?
No, you're good.
I don't hear it. That's why I don't hear any music. All I hear is Raiders nonsense. No music. Is it good now? Okay.
You can't hear any rings. Huh? Can't hear any rings.
Did you guys ever think of that?
Mike's already freezing up like a stripper. Salute to everybody here in the building, y'all. We are going to break down week 1, Raiders Chargers at SoFi Stadium. We got 2 of our family members, Charger guys. We're going to talk about their team. We're going to talk about our team. It is week 1. We're officially here, y'all. Football is officially here. We no longer have to wait. Jake, I'm going to start with you because I got to deal with Mike right after this in the AFC West roundtable. So I want to ask you, man, how are you feeling about your offseason, first year with Jim Harbaugh, the moves you guys made? How are you feeling right now about your team going into week 1?
Bro, I can't be I can't be more amped up about what this potential season is going to mean for the Chargers, because the days of charging are going to be over. Because the fact that we get a culture builder in Jim Harbaugh at the end of the day, of what his successes he's bringing over from the time in Stanford to the time with the Niners and then to the time of winning a natty last year with the Michigan Wolverines. He's bringing that kind of winning culture, and it's something that the Chargers have been lacking since the day they moved from San Diego to Los Angeles. So bringing a guy like that to get San Diego attitude back in this building is one that's going to be exciting for years to come. And I've been very impressed with the offseason. Now, again, losing a bunch of key additions with as far as Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and a bunch of, but we had to get rid of some of those old expensive contracts. Joe Ortiz understands that whole situation, but at least bringing in guys that we know that are locker room guys that also can follow with what Jesse Minter and Jim Harbaugh are trying to bring to the table. And what we've seen up in preseason thus far in just 3 games, where the defense has only averaged 10 to 11 points per opponent. So that's one thing that the defense finally is working, which is what Staley should have done originally. This team looks new. This does not look like a team that people are going to basically, turn their backs on or just be poking the bear like what Raider fans do for months and months on end. So I've been ready for it. But this is going to be a new age of the LA Chargers, and hopefully Harbaugh can bring this attitude back into this building and get us into serious business to where the only thing left in his trophy case is that Lombardi trophy.
Yo, Mike, the funny thing, man, is, we've preached the Raiders turning our culture over to, Antonio Pierce, turning the switch and bringing that Raider mentality back, right? Every article that I've looked at this past month, it's been Jim Harbaugh changing the culture of the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh changing this, changing that. I mean, what have you seen, Mike, thus far? There's no games, no real football being played yet. But how do you feel about the offseason and what Jim Harbaugh has brought to your program?
Yeah, I think that the main message that's being sent to the entire locker room, to the entire fan base, to the entire franchise is that we're dedicated to winning. And if we aren't going to get your help with that, no matter what your position is, whether it's serving nachos or out there at wide receiver, then we're going to have to unfortunately move on from you. And we're seeing that throughout the entire Chargers depth chart right now. The Chargers stacked the bottom of this depth chart. They added a bunch of players when teams released guys. They traded for multiple just depth players for 6th, 7th round picks that they know are worth more than 6th, 7th round picks, but these guys were about to get cut. So that's why they just picked them up real quick. I'm talking about Hassan Haskins. I'm talking about the DB they just got. I'm talking about, these guys from Tennessee, like Christian Fulton. There's just no rest. They were always trying to improve the roster, something the Chargers have never done. They've kind of been settled with your Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Derwin James, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. Like, name the list of star players we've had on offense and defense over the years. But then when you go to look at the second unit, it's practice squad level players on most other teams in a lot of spots. And they hold on to guys like Donald Parham for way too long and don't free up that space for other guys like Stone Smart to really grow. And that's what I love to see Harbaugh doing here. He's focused on win first over everything. We don't care about feelings. We don't care if you're roommates with the quarterback. We don't care about any of that. Whoever is the best players, the best 53 are gonna be suiting up on Sunday, and that's something that we haven't necessarily had. We've done a lot of I picked this guy, so we got to hold on to him, Isaiah Spiller. Yeah. I picked this guy, so we got to hold on to him, Michael Bandy. I picked this guy, so he's got to stay on this team. And
Cornelius Johnson, cut a Jim Harbaugh guy. Hey, bye-bye.
Didn't care. It's because of what Brandon Rice is obviously and the potential he has. There's no room for Cornelius Johnson on the team, so he cut him.
Yeah. I'm going to hand this over to Hammer, but I want to ask you guys real quick. You guys are very familiar with Tom Telesco. There was always rumors, right, about the Spanos family being the ones that actually controlled the salary cap, because Tom Telesco caught a lot of flack out there, paying big time money, the JC Jackson contract. He got a lot of bad reviews for that. How much can you really divulge with that situation? Like, was it all Tom Telesco's fault with the salary cap ramifications, or was it a mixture of them and the Spanos family? Because I always hear bad things about the Spanos family and the control, because that's not going to fly with Jim Harbaugh and company, man. I like, how is that going to work if that was the truth behind the Telesco and Spanos connection?
Honestly, I got you, Jay. I think people are just honestly just not paying attention to what happened in reality. what happened was the Chargers had Phillip Rivers for most of Telesco's career, and it just seemed like Telesco let the offense lean on him and would kind of dedicate everything to the defense, and the offensive line would always stink, and we would restock the weapons in the draft. It was always Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Malcolm Floyd, like the same guys year after year after year after year. So Telesco actually never did that kind of stuff in free agency where he just spent big and just pushed it all in. You want to know what I think happened? What I think happened is after they realized what they had in Herbert after year 2, they said, we have a small window here where we're not going to have to pay this guy $60 million. And they went to Telesco and said, if we don't have success in the next 2 years with giving you the okay to spend it all, then we're going to have to move on. Telesco felt that pressure and he went and spent it all, and it didn't work out. That's what I feel like happened. That's what it seems like. You look at the course and the track of how this all happened. Telesco has never been an aggressive GM in the draft or in free agency. And then all of a sudden, one day he trades for Khalil Mack and signs JC Jackson and does all this in the same offseason. So I feel like it was almost like a situation where they're like, hey, we're pushing the chips in right now. If it doesn't work out, Tom, this has been a decade. So we can't keep just going 7-9 every season.
Hammer, how you feel about looking at Telesco's draft this year? We covered it the entire time. We did 1 million mock drafts. Compared to recent memory, I mean, I think this was a great draft. It kind of shows me that the difference in coaching staff, the difference in ownership, and that's no knock to the Chargers at all. But it just looks like this draft class is totally different from what Telesco would do in the previous regime out there with the Chargers. I mean, how do you look at that, Hammer, as a whole with Tom Telesco as our GM? And I know these guys because they hate Tom Telesco. Most Charger fans hate Tom. All Mike does is talk shit about Telesco in all of our AFC West roundtables.
Oh, I don't hate him.
Man.
I think you guys overrate him a lot because he's a Raider now.
I honestly think he could have done a better job in it, but it's, to me personally, it's 50-50 between Spanos and Telesco. But I'll let Hammer take the floor on this one.
Well, you talked me off the cliff.
I certainly did. I was your first phone call about
Absolutely.
this.
And we were not Telesco guys. We were not Telesco guys, you guys. We were not one Tom Telesco.
Shout out to Jake because Jake broke it down like ridiculously well that a lot of people there in this chat right now were here during that live and they calmed down a little bit as well. Overall, the draft this past year, I gave it a B+. Had we potentially moved up and got the quarterback of the future, I would have given an A. But look, we filled every hole that we needed.
Paul.
We even pretty much took a wild card that surprised everybody just as much as Penix going to the Falcons and getting Brock
Flowers.
And look, I'm really excited for this kid. We know we've heard everything about this foot injury over the last 2 weeks. Look, I think he's going to be just fine come this Sunday. I still have him getting a little over 700 yards, probably 5+ touchdowns on the year. I'm incredibly excited for that. But overall, Telesco right now, I'm good with. I'm good with AP. Like, realistically, we've talked about this in terms of our past front office and our head coach and McDaniels and Ziegler. McDaniels really set this team back another 3 years going against Ziegler's idea of, let's trade up to 2 and get CJ Stroud. Like, anytime I even see this kid on TV, I want to put my head through a wall now, but I'm like, I am giving him his flowers when he does what he does. Like, the kid is a phenomenal talent, and McDaniels messed it up for us. And now we're in a situation where we have a guy who's been a journeyman of a backup in Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
They made the decision to make him the starter, and for many, many reasons, and for people that were thinking it was just a preseason, you don't watch football. You've never been to a training camp. You've never seen OTAs. You've never seen a mini camp. A lot of the opponents that we have this year have some elite pass rushers, a couple of them that we have to see twice a year. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Chris Jones. We got to see TJ Watt. We got to see Justin Matabuki. They need a guy that's going to be able to extend plays with his feet. And the only concern that I have looking at the numbers is him holding on to the damn ball and not coughing it up like Carr would when he would break and start running the ball. But I think we're in a good place right now.
Jake, I want to ask you real quick, man. You guys have a ton of veterans on the defensive side of the ball. And Harbaugh's philosophy is run the football in a defensive-minded mentality, right?
Yep.
where are you health-wise in terms of Khalil Mack, Bosa, Derwin James, guys that have dealt with durability issues in the past? Where are they at right now? Because, the Chargers, man, look, as much as we hate you guys, we feel bad for you because it's like it's not an off season or it's not a season if the Chargers are not getting hurt left and right. Left and right. Where are you guys at right now in terms of health with your superstars, not just the regular guys? We know Herbert's back from the foot injury. I got to give NFL Mike his credit. You were right, brother. You were right. But where are you guys at in terms of the veteran roster?
So as of right now, and this is one of the things that the Chargers knew that they needed to address the second that Jim Harbaugh came into the building, is he was going to bring in trustworthy guys that were going to break you down and build you up and callous you into one of the best of the best players offensively and defensively. And the way of doing that was going through the core. And Mike knows this too, how many times that we've suffered injuries. And even at the time when, Herbert's rookie season, when Tyrod Taylor suffered that punctured lung in week 2, I was like, somebody get this dude out of this building, because the fact that this is not working for us, our guys are not playing healthy, and we have no chance of competition, which is what we want. We want to compete with our division. We want to compete with the AFC. So bringing in a guy like Ben Herbert, which is one of the best strengths and conditioning coaches in the country, is what is callousing this team to be stronger, healthier, leaner, and they attack. And so at the end of it, on the defensive side, Khalil Mack is 110%. Joey Bosa has got himself out of the club on his hand, so he's been practicing through that. But either way, he's going to go in with a club in his hand, and he's going to play football, because this is Harbaugh's mentality. You fight through a lot of those injuries, because the funny thing is, the difference with this team compared to the team in the past is the team in the past was not calloused for long-term injuries at all. They got hurt and were out for the entirety of the season, that they were not calloused this way. This team is. So a lot of these...
Real quick, Jay, I want to ask you, because there was a lot of problems with depth on a lot of those rosters with Tom Telesco, right?
Yes.
Now, in year 1, Tom has went out and addressed that immediately. We have a ton of depth on this. This is the most depth that we've had in a long time, where we can allow players to walk that would have been starters on this team years prior. Like, what changed? Once again, is it the Spanos effect? Because I'm trying to figure out,
nothing changed. Can I jump in here?
Go ahead, Mike.
I don't feel like this draft class was any different than any of Telesco's draft classes.
How?
He's been doing this for years. He's a best player available type of GM. He doesn't care about needs. The Raiders did not need another tight end.
But those mid to late round picks were great. He's always been booked as a guy that can't draft.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. We don't know if they're great. Yeah, I wouldn't.
All I'm saying is
they're great, because I don't think you can name a single Charger that was drafted after the 3rd round in the last 10 years.
What happened?
You can't name a single Charger that was drafted after the 3rd round in the last 10 years.
We're not Charger fans, so we definitely couldn't.
No one can. Well, you would be able to if he drafted like a Max Crosby in the 3rd round, right?
Who?
Tom Telesco. He hasn't. He sucks. All of his picks after round 2, after round 3 have sucked. This year, he went best player available, just like he did last year. He drafted Quentin Johnson when the Chargers had 3 receivers. They had Palmer, Allen, and Williams. And
he knew this was coming, Mike. He knew this was coming. He knew he had to move on.
He knew what was coming. That Quentin Johnson was going to be one of the biggest busts in Chargers history. What do you know was coming?
Williams and Allen are always injured too.
So you support the Quentin Johnson pick over Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison?
In retrospect, no. But Quentin
you don't support Tom Telesco's pick last year, then, right?
Bro, he was one of the better wide receivers.
That's what I'm saying. I don't support the pick last year either. I'm with you. I agree.
Here's my thing about this is that when it comes to, breaking down the drafts, is that in Tom Telesco's mind versus what Joe Ortiz's mind is this year, is that Tom Telesco at times, he would take the best talent available, whether that was the pass rusher, whether that was the wide receiver, or that was, the quarterback. And initially the quarterback hit post Phillip Rivers, because eventually we needed to pass on the torch and we needed to start thinking younger. We needed to start getting in this new era. And so with Telesco, the problem I had with him, and this is why I think this was 50-50 between Spanos and Telesco, is because Telesco in free agency, he was taking big time names, but was not addressing a lot of that bottom half, which was a problem. And that's where I think Joe Ortiz, when he came in, he was getting rid of a lot of the old existing contracts that were hurt and were expensive. And we're bringing in guys like Christian Fulton, Elijah Molden, Bud Dupree, and a lot of these depth guys that we know that if one guy goes down, especially if it's Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa, somebody's going to have to step in.
I
And
love
that's where
the reason
I wanted in that.
the reason they'll even get a huge shout out to those two guys, man, because the reason that's even possible is because of Bosa and Mack's pay cut. If they would have stayed on the same salary, they're probably on different teams. But if they would have stuck at the same salary, the Chargers can't bring in Bud Dupree. They can't bring in any of this depth to help them not have to play like animals all season long. We're going to hopefully give them some rest. They have Tuli Pelotu still in there, which thankfully Telesco was the best player available for him because this guy's turning out to be a beast. But again, the Chargers' need in that spot in the draft was not edge rusher, and he still went with the best edge rusher that was there because he saw what this guy could be. I'm not knocking him for going best player available. I'm just saying that the Raiders draft class, especially the first round pick, very similar to a lot of his picks in his Chargers career too, with Rashawn Slater at 12, best player available. Mike Williams at 7 at the time, best player available. You can even say Derwin James at 17, despite Derwin James coming into the league with major injury concerns, and he still has them, but best player available. It's been the same thing. It's just he's wearing black now.
I want to ask you this because I want to ask these guys as well. This rush attack that they got with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, dog. Like,
I'm hyped.
Are we really? Are we afraid of these guys come Sunday?
Money by Doll right there too, bro.
And I like him a lot.
And it's on Haskins. They just got to sign Haskins too.
He's like 30 rushing yards in the NFL. Nobody want to hear that.
You pretty much just took Baltimore's former depth chart of running backs and recycled.
Yep, and I bring it up every time on the show.
Recycled them into powder blue. Like, no, I'm not afraid of them. Like,
I'm not saying to be afraid of them. I would be more afraid of the O-line that the Chargers have built, and then you combine it with the running backs. But really, these guys are placeholders. I think Harbaugh's positioning himself. He realizes the team can't just go from 5 wins to beastly overnight. Positions like running back or where you can take a discount and still get some production. I think that's exactly what they're doing. And they're going to be in a position next year picking in the 20s to draft a running back or early first or early second round draft a running back. But I think the Chargers, or maybe even tight end too. I think tight end would be in there
in the 20s, as in you think that they're going to go to the playoffs.
Yes.
Like Herbert has been sniffing around the playoffs as long as he's been in this league, and I've said it time and time again. And people can take this however they want, whoever's watching, wherever you're watching. Justin Herbert is Phillip Rivers 2.0. You got great numbers. That's a cool story, bro. But you've been sniffing the playoffs your entire career. Stop it.
He has been. He has been because.
Do you know how many playoff games that Phillip Rivers has been in versus what Justin Herbert has been? We can't even make that kind of similar comparison because if you recall, Phillip Rivers got to as far as since the 2000s for, the Raiders and eventually stinking against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl has gotten them closer to the AFC Championship with a torn ACL. So it's like, look, we can't even make that comparison with Herbert and Rivers because it's still too fresh. The only thing we can say about this is
because look at a first round quarterback in CJ Stroud that made a nice run in his rookie campaign with a new head coach nonetheless. With a new head coach.
So what's the difference? I mean, okay. The Chargers came in with Herbert as one of the worst teams in the league. And I understand the Texans did the exact same thing, but we're not going to give Herbert any credit from taking one of the worst teams in the league to the playoffs in year 2 with Brendan Staley and Keenan Allen out for the entire season and go for 5,000 yards, one of 9 quarterbacks to ever go for 5,000 yards in a season, and will that team on his back with broken ribs to the playoffs.
He's not giving Herbert credit. Charger fans, all 9 of you guys.
Wasted just said that Justin Herbert can't slip the playoffs, acting like he's never made the playoffs.
But bro, nobody ever says that Herbert's not a good quarterback. What are we talking about?
Thank you, because I didn't say he's a bad quarterback.
Like you said he hasn't sniffed the playoffs. That's the quote.
His numbers are solid.
But he hasn't sniffed the playoffs, right? That's just not true.
Was that year 2? That was year 2?
Exactly.
To put into better context of all of this is that what people don't realize is that this, and of course too with mainstream media, how they blow this all up, is that Justin Herbert is one of one. He's going to do whatever it takes, and he's a playmaker, which means that not only is he going to play, not only is he going to make plays on script, but he's capable of making the plays off script when we need to get into better field position to either kick a field goal in the closest games that we need to win or score. And so initially what happens is that the defense in the last few years that Justin Herbert has been the starting quarterback has been absolutely bottom tier defense.
Real quick. I want to ask you guys this because this is the worst. And Mike, I said this was an underrated wide receiving core. I like some of those guys out there with the Chargers. But I have to say, this is the worst wide receiving core that Justin Herbert has had up to this point.
No, it's not. Not even close. No.
Come on.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
No.
What?
He played half the season. He played half a season with DeAndre Carter as his wide receiver one.
I'm not talking.
You mentioned he had Tyrod Johnson and he had Jalen Guyton.
Hey, once a Raider,
His rookie year, his best receiver was Mike Williams, which you could say maybe that's a better wide receiver one. But the rest of the receiver core,
talking about injuries. Those guys were on the roster. All I'm saying is,
to sit here and just ignore injuries is just crazy. To say, oh yeah, like we're just gonna pretend like those guys were healthy all those games, and they didn't miss 20 games combined in his career already.
Bro, you look at this roster at skill positions, the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
You look at the running back position.
The Chargers haven't been. This is the deepest. This is the deepest. This is the deepest weapon core Herbert has ever had.
What?
So here's
without a doubt. And if you disagree, you just don't know what you're looking at.
Here's where I'm going to throw a bomb into this, okay? And to give you a picture of this offense, okay? So picture this. Recall, so when the 53-man roster came out, the Chargers have 7 receivers now on this roster because shout out to Semi Fehoko. No, shout out to Semi Fehoko for balling out as much as he did in the preseason because that man deserved a roster spot at the end of the day. And then Kamani Vidal, our rookie from Troy, comes in the third running back. Oh, absolutely loved him, man. And the thing about this is what the Chargers are putting together and what people initially ended up judging about this roster when Greg Roman came in is that they think Greg Roman is going to take the football out of Justin Herbert's hands. Not even close. Jim Harbaugh was a former quarterback, and he knows that the closest quarterback to Justin Herbert's stature that he had in college was a guy named Andrew Luck. That's the closest stature he's ever coached around. So this type of offense that you're going to see with the Chargers date back to 2019 Baltimore Ravens in Lamar Jackson's MVP year. Because if you actually think about this, Lamar was throwing to 3 different tight ends, and that was including Mark Andrews. He was also throwing to a young Hollywood Brown that hadn't even came to him like himself yet, and he's throwing to Seth Roberts. He's throwing to Willie Snead.
Raider great. We don't take Seth Roberts problems over here, man. We don't take that. Seth Roberts is a goat, man.
But he threw to a lot of no-name receivers up into that time, and what happened? Lamar Jackson won his unanimous MVP year. Okay. And what he did is Greg Roman is going to run a spread offense type, which means you're going to run the football hard. You're going to wear out the defensive line. You're going to spread the ball to every weapon that is there, get points on the board in the first half, because what's going to happen when you have a lead in the second half, you are now going to run the football and you are going to run the clock down to keep the offense on the sideline.
Real quick. Me and Mike got 30 minutes before we got to head over to the AFC West roundtable. Salute to the 900 plus people here in the building watching us. Make sure you guys go subscribe to both of my guys down here, NFL Mike, Jake Silva. You guys are probably already subscribed to Hammer. If you're not, go subscribe over there. I want to play a game with you guys. I did a show yesterday, Coffee and Convo, where I pretty much compared every room, every position room going into week 1. Okay, I want all you guys' opinion. We'll make this pretty quick. I'm not going to bring up the rosters. I'm just going to let you guys do your thing. We're going to start the quarterback position. I think this is clear, right? Chargers have the better quarterback room. Clear cut, the end, nothing to talk about. I think we can all agree on that, right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we look at this.
Before we move on, can I ask one thing, though? What's the most important position on the field in your guys' opinion?
Offensive line, because if your offensive line don't work, your offense
That's
don't
5
work.
positions. What's that? What's one position? What's the most important position?
Quarterback.
I agree.
What have you done with that lately? What have you done with him lately?
We lost one more game than you guys last year. I don't understand. I don't understand.
63,
21, baby.
21.
With Easton Stick. With Easton Stick. But anyways, continue with the game. Continue with the game. Continue with the game.
Quarterback position 1-0 Chargers. Okay. And this no biasness, you guys. Football fans first. Okay. We're football guys. You know, we have to be honest. I will be honest. The running back room. You guys have Gus Edwards. You have J.K. Dobbins, who's had some really, really severe injuries. We have Zamir White coming off of a big year last year, right? He'll be the number one guy with Alex Madison, who thrived in Minnesota as running back 2. He struggled as number 1, but he's number 2. Now we have Amir Abdullah, special teams, third down back, with Dylan Laube, our young kid out of New Hampshire.
Yep.
And then you have, the young kid that we were just talking about, always butcher his name out of Troy. So
Kamani Vidal, yep.
Kamani Vidal. I mean, we talked about him a lot, Hammer, during that draft process as well. He was a late round gem that we talked about a lot in that draft. Start with Mike, because I know already where he's going to go with this. Who has the better running back room?
I think the Chargers do. I do. But if you're looking at like for the future, I would probably pick the Raiders running back room. We're talking about going forward. But starting week 1 for this game this weekend, I'm going with the guys that have proven what they can do in this league already. Even if they are injury prone, they aren't going to be injured for the first drive. I know that. So that's going to go well at least. And these guys have been on. Well, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards have been on some of the best rushing offenses we've seen in the league over the last 10 years. I know you guys are going to say Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has 1,000-yard rushing season. So who's carrying the rest of the rushing offense? The other 3,000 yards that they're freaking going for every season. It's the running backs. It's Justice Hill. It's Keaton Mitchell now. It's Derrick Henry now. And it was Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins before when they're on the field healthy. I understand the injury risk, but we're talking about who has proven in this league. Gus Edwards had 12 touchdowns last year.
Jake,
come on. What are we talking about? What are we talking about running backs?
What you got, Jake?
So honestly and sincerely, I lean toward Chargers on this one. And the only reason of it is because in my opinion is I have not seen Zamir White enough yet as the running back 1 respectfully, but he has very good future upside between him, Dylan Laube, and the rest of, the core. But I do believe that like with Gus Edwards, he's going to start as that power back. J.K. Dobbins is going to end up giving you the speed. And of course, like usual, when he's healthy. And then there's Kamani Vidal that rises up because honestly, the Chargers are trying to bring back the 3-headed monsters. It's not even close to being similar, but a similar scheme that they had years ago when they had LaDainian Tomlinson, Michael Turner, and Darren Sproles. That's what they're going to try to bring back, that kind of schematic.
And they don't have that yet. Hammer, what you got?
It really is a toss-up. And again, injuries definitely play a part in it. I like the depth. And to touch on Zamir, no Diddy. Started 4 games last year for us. 2 of the 4 games he rushed for over 100 yards. And do you know who those 2 teams were that he rushed for over 100 yards? The Chiefs and the Chargers. Right now, Madison, yes, definitely better fit as a running back too. And I've been saying that from the time we signed him. He's a solid swing back. Laube, I can't wait to see what he does. Abdullah, a solid third down back. He did a lot of that work last year for us. I would definitely have to go with the Raiders running back room.
And Zeus had to do that with some key components out of that O-line because of injuries. So we're going to see what he looks like this season with Colton Miller out there. Mumford with a full off season as a starting right tackle. So I'm excited to see. I'm taking the Raiders. But this can be if J.K. Dobbins is healthy, okay? If he's healthy, if you can get a full year out of J.K., and that's a major question mark, I may have to lean Chargers.
That's a question mark for any one of the Chargers players.
3-1.
They can never seem to stay healtay.
1-1.
3-1. That's 3-1.
Okay.
Stop it.
We're gonna go wide receiving core. I think this is pretty easy, right? Raiders. We already talked about this, Mike. We got Tay, we got Jacoby. You guys have a bunch. I love McConkey, but he's unproven at this point. You have Palmer, who's been like that sneaky fringe wide receiver 1, and then Quentin Johnston, which I still believe in. I know he struggled in the offseason. I know he struggled in preseason, but this is a guy that's still a former first-round pick, and I think he's going to be okay. But I got to go Raiders here, right? I think we all can agree with Davante and Trey Tucker, who's ready to take the league by storm this year as our third guy. And then you got, we don't need to go into the tight end room because we'll go there in a second, but this is pretty easy, right? Raiders?
I mean, the only thing you got is Davante Adams. I mean, that's honestly, like, here's
Jacoby Myers gets over 800 yards a year. What are we talking about?
I was getting into that as well, but really the sole purpose of that wide receiving core is, of course, Davante Adams. Then you have your specialist in Jacoby Myers. And so that's why I'm like, yeah, it's definitely Raiders at the end of the day, because we only have guys that are either unproven or guys that have basically served as specialists, like DJ Chark as one of them, that like he can get open.
There are ability issues too. But this is the thing. Jacoby's not a specialist. He's one of the better blocking wide receivers in the league, one of the better route running guys. He can catch the football. He can do it all.
He's underrated as shit.
I think Myers and Palmer are pretty comparable guys. They do have a lot of similar things. Myers maybe has a little bit better speed, top end speed. Probably want Myers for deep stuff more than Josh maybe. But like when you talk about the blocking, you talk about the consistent hands, consistent route running, especially we talk about the route running in the intermediate and attacking the middle of the field. It's pretty comparable. Josh Palmer, I think you guys are hating on here. I don't know if you've watched any. I'm not hating on Palmer.
I'm just he just doesn't matter. He's not better than our number one and our number two.
I didn't say he was better. I said they're pretty comparable when you come to wide receivers. But I think the thing that we're not talking about here is, yeah, the Raiders have better talent for talent guys in the wide receiver room. But what does that super strength really matter when you have that at quarterback? Like our second string quarterback is better than y'all starters, both of them.
Who the hell is your backup now?
Taylor.
You guys don't even know the team before we even got on the air here. We're going to talk about this whole thing. How can this entire chat of Raiders fans trust you guys? You didn't even look at the depth chart before you got on here.
Bro, first and foremost, yes, we did.
And who's the backup quarterback then?
This is what Chargers fans do. They try to create these little jokes and goofy shit because they have nothing
Logic
to
is
do
what
with
it's
the
called.
Stop.
Shut
up, bitch. Stop the bullshit. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
That was the best sound effect so far for sure.
Tyler Heineken.
The guy who went toe-to-toe with the one and the only GOAT in the playoffs.
Well, if you want to do that, I mean, Minshew was a Pro Bowler last year, if you want to do that.
A Pro Bowler?
I mean,
he was.
All that matters is going to the playoffs. We're talking about Herbert not mattering because he didn't go to the playoffs, but our guy went to the playoffs.
We shall see how Gardner Minshew looks without Shane Steichen, and he's there with that Luke Getsy dual tight end set that he loves to run.
You want to know something crazy, Jake? Both these guys want AOC as the starting quarterback, and they just won't say it. I want AOC too. AOC is probably the better option for them at quarterback too.
I said it. I don't have a problem with that. I'm an AOC guy.
So you think that the Raiders are playing the wrong quarterback, and you're confident in them?
Bro, who am I?
Hey, yo.
What are we doing? Look, they're going with the proven veteran. It is what it is.
But you're not confident in it if you still think it's wrong.
Bro, I'm confident in my defense. I'm confident in my O-line, and I'm confident in my ground game. And I'm confident that Brock Bowers, Davante, Trey Tucker, and Jacoby and company can cook enough to disguise the deficiencies that Gardner Minshew has. So at the end of the day, that guy was over 500 last year with a very, very mediocre Indianapolis Colts roster.
That's just not true either.
Are you fucking kidding me?
We will argue all night on every single thing that you say that's not true. So we should just continue with the game. We're going to O-line next. Chargers again.
This is a season where we don't see Hunter Renfrow up onto the field. That's going to be an interesting one.
He might come to the Chargers. Don't say too soon.
You got Brock Bowers.
I think there's a chance Renfrow could be our Lad McConkey backup plan.
Oh, he could.
Yeah.
We'll run through this. O-line, I'm giving that to you clear. You have your starting left tackle.
So what's the score right now?
Slater and all. I'm a Notre Dame guy. I think that you guys have your bookend guys. We are still trying to figure out if Mumford is the guy at right tackle. Andre James, we like him at center. Dylan Parham struggled in preseason at right guard. And then we have Cody Whitehair, a veteran that's in there right now for JPJ, our rookie, our second round guy out of Oregon, because he's not up to speed yet. So I'm going to give you guys O-line, clear cut. I'm not going to battle with that. Amber, you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, but we can also agree too that our tight end room is way better than y'all's, right?
Fuck yeah.
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 I don't know about way. Way is a strong word.
Are you fucking kidding me? Bro, this is why you guys suck. Y'all can't give real.
Well, the thing is about tight end. The tight end position is. The thing is about the tight end position is you just need a guy that's going to.
Alex Leatherwood. I don't want to hear that shit.
he's our practice squad guard now. But speaking of guards, it probably would have been smart for Telesco to pick up some free agent guards or something, huh?
I will agree to the extent that Brock Bowers arguably was one of the best tight ends in the country.
No, he was the best tight end in the country. The last 2 or 3 years.
He is, and that's why, like, initially when the draft came out,
Jake, who was the runner-up to win that win best tight end in the nation? It was Michael Mayer.
Oh yeah, but
come on,
Quentin Johnson won a bunch of awards as a receiver in college too, and didn't matter at all. So did Kyle Pitts. Didn't matter at all. And I'm not even trying to use that argument against them. I'm just saying that the Chargers have what they need at tight end.
No, but we know that offensive coordinator
What are you guys upset about? What are you guys upset about? What are you upset about? See, tell us.
No. You know what it is? Because you're talking about this at blah, 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 blah. That's cool.
Real. That's what it
Jim
is.
Harbaugh was a great college football coach, and now he's back on the NFL level. What the fuck does that mean?
I have a question, Wasted. Who is the winningest as far as win percentage goes?
Why are you?
I don't know you guys' names. My bad.
Hammer Wasted. Wasted is the one that called you the lesbian vampire.
Wasted and I are completely
I thought this was the person that called me the lesbian vampire. Sorry, I'm not a loyal follower of the show. I'm sorry, but he just said what matters. You see, you guys don't even want to hear me talk. You don't even want to actually listen to logic because you know that you're wrong and you know that you guys are a bunch of idiots. That's what you know. Everyone in the chat, everyone on the screen above me, don't know who the winningest head coach in the NFL is right now. Who has the highest win percentage?
If you can get your camera in focus, maybe I can hear and see what the fuck you're talking about.
Just answer the question. Just answer the question.
Off the offense, okay? Off the offense.
No, you're just skipping it, huh? We're just gonna hit.
Mike, we have literally 10 minutes before our next show. Shut the fuck up.
He just said that it's what matters what you do in the NFL, and Harbaugh is the winningest head coach in the entire NFL.
If you listen and look, yesterday I did this show, the same thing where I gave my takes, and I said that Harbaugh is the more proven and better coach. So I don't understand bro, shut the fuck up and just listen. We got 1,000, 1,500. You're not used to this kind of attention. I get it. I understand, Mike. You're used to talking in front of 3 or 4 people on the line. I understand, Mike. I get it, bro. You got mannequins and AI bots in your live stream. I understand. I get it. I understand. All right, let's get to the defense side. I have no idea what the fuck that means. So look. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, defense.
Okay. D-line.
This is the best room that we both have. Period.
I think it's a wash.
Oh yeah. I honestly, shout out to Max Crosby at the end of the day, because Max Crosby is the Raiders defense. And the fact that they're going and getting Christian Wilkins, that's the only thing that honestly I could be happy for Max Crosby on. Because every time when I have to see him do everything by himself is one of those ones that it kind of, as any NFL fan, it kind of pains me. Because I'm like, if only he had a duo there next to him to honestly make that happen, because they tried that with Chandler Jones. That didn't end up working out. And now having Christian Wilkins, I'm happy for it. I think the D-line, the D-line is going to be scary at the end of the day, but that's going to be hell of a competition in week 1 against that offensive line.
Malcolm Kuntz, he had a career year last year. He's only going to get better. We brought back Adam Butler and John Jenkins, 2 veterans that played out of their minds for us last season. And then Tyree Wilson is still a question mark out of Texas Tech, top 10 pick a year ago. So, this can definitely go either way. The problem is we're a lot younger on the D-line. You guys have Khalil Mack, who was very, very durable last year. And we love Khalil Mack. We're not going to shit on him. He had a phenomenal year last year. Bosa's always hurt. I love TT. Love Tully out of USC. That was one of my favorite edge rushers in that draft. I thought that was a phenomenal pickup for you guys. Bud Dupree has dealt with some injuries in his career. Some of those guys that you guys picked up and brought in, I think that Bud is one of those guys where it's like Harbaugh is thinking, get whatever you can out of him while you got him. Yes. Right? You know what I mean?
He came off of a decent year last year with Atlanta being, giving at least 6.5 sacks. And he was a guy that had to come in when they needed to utilize that edge rushing position, because Atlanta barely even had any edge rushers at the time. And that's where I think you got every ounce of juice out of him. Harbaugh's going to do the same exact thing. But the other thing to even note about the D-line is that the Chargers, they picked up some very good veterans at the end of the day. They get Poona Ford, who's clearly a run stuffer, which is what Jesse Minter's defense is all about. 4-3 defense, stuffing the run and putting pressure on. Teair Tart, damn, dude, that guy already, since in preseason, that guy is already looking like he deserves to be on this defensive line, giving us more help against the run as a facilitator. Now, Justin Mboigbe hasn't been very flashy for me, honestly, but at least he can facilitate and work more and more repetitiously with this D-line. I'm happy that we're finally addressing it.
Raiders D-line. Let's get over this shit. Hey, real quick, man, since you called my brother Hammer Wasted, man, he sent me this text while we were live, and I wanted to show you this, Mike. He said that you look like Katie Lang.
I know it is.
Yeah, hey, I'm just saying. So, hey, all right, let's get to the linebacking core. You know, we got Spillane, we have Divine Diablo. We went and drafted Tommy Eichenberg. You know, a guy, Amari Gaynor, who played out of his mind in preseason, actually made the active roster. Amari Burney, you know, the guys that we have. Your linebacking core. How do you guys rank your linebacking core?
I think our linebacking core,
I like Hentley a lot.
Also, Junior Colson. Shout out to my guy Navarro Bowman, man. The fact that playing alongside with Patrick Willis, finding that facilitator at linebacker. Thank God we finally have one after all these years with Junior Colson. That kid's going to be very, very good. And we also got our boy back. We got Denzel Perryman. He's back.
Former Raider that wasn't a Pro Bowler until he was a Raider.
All Pro actually that year. That was a really good year for him. I think he led the league in tackles. That year. It was freaking nuts. Yeah, that's what he is. And it's perfect, man, because we got 2 young guys behind him, so he can kind of just lead the way, lead by example, show him what Harbaugh wants, and then turn the reins over. I'm really excited for the linebacker corps. If you just do like a quick study of the successful teams over the last however many years, it just seems like linebacker has been a key part of everybody's success.
Niners.
It's just like, why isn't anyone opening their eyes and seeing this and bringing in linebackers and getting some good crews together? We are seeing some teams, San Fran, Philly, like you're saying. Chicago just signed 2 big name linebackers. Like, it's starting to shift, but the Chargers have always been a team to take a discount at that position. So it is cool. It's a cool change to be kind of deep at linebacker for once. Where we're going to have Junior Colson, who was one of the best linebackers in the country last year in college football, as our depth guy, our second guy, learning and getting ready to take over as the middle piece of this defense.
Not to mention how good that, Shane Lee in our practice squad, and even for Tremont Morris Brash after what he did against Trey Lance in the Cowboys in the last preseason game. Like, we got some pretty good depth in linebacker.
Hey, I want to ask you guys, why did you not keep my guy Thomas Harper around? Because Notre Dame product, I know you guys wanted him to clear waivers so you could bring him back to the practice.
Was an interesting one.
How do you feel about us signing him to the active roster and being that 4th safety, a guy that can play in the nickel and all over the place? How do you feel about losing him to us?
I think it was kind of a little bit of a stinger. I'm not even going to lie. The fact that, he can serve as a facilitator at the end of the day and, again, but providing a lot of the depth pieces that we have at safety, because I think the hardest point, and I think Mike can even agree with this, is we had a decision to make at the end of the day as far as depth in our safety position for Derwin James and Alohi Gilman. It was either we were going to go with Thomas Harper or we would maybe potentially go with Tony Jefferson. And it was really, really hard at the end of the day. And again, I wished he would have cleared waivers and to bring him back on the practice squad, because I loved what he did in the preseason, being the facilitator. So I think the Raiders are getting a good depth piece there. But, it was a little bit of a stinger. But at the same time, I can't hang my head over it. I got to move forward, and we got to get next guys up mentality.
I'm going to say this, and Hammer, I want to get your opinion before we get, we got 2 more positions before we get out of here. The linebacker position, I'm going to call this kind of a wash because I like, no, bro. Did you not watch Robert Spillane? See, this is the thing. You don't know NFL. How do you call yourself NFL Mike and you don't know?
Has he ever been an All-Pro? Has he ever been an All-Pro?
Dude, he's ranked 11th amongst linebackers right now.
Has Denzel ever been an All-Pro? Not being a Raider.
The Chargers have an All-Pro linebacker that's 31 years old.
Has Perry ever been an All-Pro, not being a Raider?
Yes, he's been an All-Pro, even as a Raider. I don't care when it was or who it was for. Khalil Mack's a Hall of Famer. He played for the Raiders. He's still a Hall of Famer. That doesn't change anything.
Oh my!
You can't call the D-line to the Raiders and then call the linebackers as a wash. If we're calling the linebackers a wash, the D-line is definitely a wash.
I said our D-line. You said wash. I got our D-line. We younger.
And I got our linebackers. It's not even close. Okay, our third linebacker is better than your best linebacker right now. Robert
corner room is better than
good. But we're talking
our corner
about
maybe
our whole defensive back. Our defensive back room is better than them.
No,
as a whole.
Oh boy.
Yes.
No. You have an All-Pro in your secondary too? Where's the All-Pro come in the secondary? Where's the All-Pro in the secondary?
Are we going to old-ass Derwin James?
He's an All-Pro in the secondary 2 years ago. What are you talking about, old-ass Derwin James? How old is Derwin James?
Second quarter Sunday.
How old is Derwin James? Because he's old now.
90 in football year.
How old is he? What's his age?
His knees are 98.
How old if you don't know their age? This is what I'm talking about. You're uneducated on here telling me I'm the one that's stupid.
Bro, I don't give a fuck about his age. Why do I want to
You call him old? Who brought up his age? Me or you? Who brought his age?
Sorry, I don't know the NFL. I don't know Derwin James' birthday.
He's 28.
He's
Well,
20.
you just roasted my knowledge of the NFL and then just admitted, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about the
I'm
NFL.
sorry, I don't know birthdays, Mike. I'm sorry.
Then don't call people old. Don't call people old. They're not old.
That
Is
is
he
old.
a Virgo? Is he a Capricorn? What is he? A Leo?
You brought up age. You're acting like I brought it up.
Is he a Cancer?
You just know that you're wrong. You don't want to admit it. Just admit it.
Oh man, I can't wait to this.
Let's tap into that
admit it.
secondary though. Let's tap into that secondary. Honestly,
Jack, Made Hobbs, Ja'Cory Bennett, who I'm telling you right now is going to have a breakout sophomore year.
Darnay
You got
Holmes.
Marcus- you got Marcus-
Like
you
his
got
breakout
Marcus
rookie
Epps.
year. They all told me he's a breakout rookie year too.
No, I didn't. Marcus Epps and
You don't know about the show.
Trayvon
Mike.
Merrick.
You don't watch the
I
show.
was tuning
Marcus
into
Epps,
y'all's
Trayvon
show.
Merrick, who are actually one of the top 10, actually top 5 safety tandems in the league last year. I'm giving it to our defensive back room.
Go ahead. You can give it to whoever you want. It's your show.
ultimately, the way that I will say this,
Old ass San Diego hat, man.
the
Let
only
your hair down, Mike. Let your hair down.
The only thing that I will say
Where?
as far as the cornerback room for the Chargers is that the cornerback room looks very different. And the way that I can explain it is the fact that they end up addressing some of the positions that we know was an absolute must for the Chargers. Because last year we got cooked. I can admit it. We got cooked really badly. And to the point where everybody was playing out of position. Guys were not executing with a lot of these pass plays. And that was all a part of the reason that Brandon Staley was so much of a control freak that he's trying to fix the defense that much and failed to do so. Not even giving Derek Ainsley an opportunity or a chance to really even make this secondary play better. So now with Jesse Minter in this defense, with putting that 4-3 up front, and then not to mention playing man-to-man coverage corner, because if you watch in Michigan how he played Mike Sanristel, how he's played Will Johnson, and how he's played a lot of these guys, they go one-on-one to piss off opposing wide receivers. So adding in a guy like Christian Fulton, 25 years old, has some upside, needed a change of scenery from Tennessee. You bring in a guy like Elijah Molden, who's also another one, by the way, is a former teammate of Kansas City Chiefs, Trent McDuffie. Mm-hmm. So having a shutdown type of secondary like this and that kind of mentality, which is what I've been screaming, help Asante Samuel out, because he can't just play man-to-man coverage all by himself. So
Fulton was a stud at Virginia Tech too. I was a big fan of him at the collegiate level.
Oh God, he was amazing. Yeah. And so my thing with this is now also you add in a guy like Cam Hart and Tarheeb Still. These are going to be guys that Harbaugh and Minter, they're going to play a lot of that hard-nosed defense where it's going to piss off opposing wide receivers on those one-on-one man covers. And then at the same time, we also have facilitators who can facilitate where that ball is going. And when the ball is in the air, they're going to intercept. That's initially what it is. Ball is in the air, go get it. That's initially what it is. You are going to play man-to-man coverage, and you're initially going to end up shutting these guys down. So at this point now, and I'll be honest with it because I have to see this in person for the first 4 weeks, I will give that edge to the Raiders for now. But I'm telling you, when Davante Adams gets pissed off, when some of these guys are basically shoving him and really testing his stuff, he's not going to like that. But that is all a part of Jesse Minter and Jim Harbaugh's mentality. Play hard on the defense.
So real quick, man, let's get it. We got to get out of here. We got another show to do. I hate that we have to leave this early. Salute to DJ down the bottom from Roseanne, my guy. Salute to Jake, as always. Real quick before we get out of here, we got to start this show very, very soon. Actually, right now. Real quick score prediction, DJ. What you got?
Who's DJ?
You, man.
Oh, now we care about names. Okay. Anyways, I got 35-10 Chargers. Unbiased pick. Unbiased pick. I got 35-10 Chargers.
PSA, boys and girls, meth is a terrible drug.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
If I'm this coherent on meth, that's impressive. You got to admit that.
Nasty work. What you got, Hammer? We got 1,100 people in the building. I hate to leave right now, you guys. But
can I plug one thing before we go, Graphic? No, seriously, can I? Are you okay with it? We're working on a clothing brand behind the scenes, and I'm doing it for all 32 teams. I just want to show you guys the Raiders one. Let me know what you guys think. Here we go. Can you put me on the screen? Can you take that down? We're working on this, eh?
What did you do?
Shut up.
24-19 Raiders.
27-23 Chargers.
Okay.
It's trench warfare.
I'm gonna go. It's gonna be interesting, man. I'm gonna go 24-13 Raiders. That's how I'm doing it. Salute to everybody here in the building. Salute to Rube. And salute to everybody that sent supers and everybody that was gifting memberships. I appreciate you guys. I didn't want to derail the show. I was going to read all of them. I didn't know we were going to go this late. Got to go join the AFC West Roundtable. Real quick, Jake, let everybody know where to follow you at, brother. And Mop, we get a little crazy over here sometimes. Salute to you, brother, for dealing with the bullshit. But where can everybody follow you at, man?
All righty, man. So it's brand spanking new. It's fresh, and I'm a part of the Syndicate family. And so for everybody that needs all Chargers news and insights and everything else that you need to get you locked in on the LA Chargers every day, Chargers Syndicate is a brand new channel that I have. 475 subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000, trying to get monetized, trying to get us into the game because we've got a lot of the big dogs here. So that's brand spanking new. And for those that know me from my regular show, the Snake Sports Talk Show, because I always have a lot of good stuff to say. Check it out. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers as well. Snake Sports Talk Show, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern, everywhere you get your podcasts.
Well, let us know, man, what we can do in terms of helping promote and all that good stuff and try to get as many eyes on the new product that you're putting out there. Salute to Lil Bro Hammer. What you guys say on the way out, brother? And Jake, we want to bring you back. If we can, let's do a show maybe after Sunday, and let's do a recap of the game if that's cool with you.
I may be available, but here's the only thing, though, is because next week I'm on a boat. It's me and my wife's honeymoon cruise. We're going out to Bahamas and everything. So, like I said, I'm going to be sipping on a real good one when that sweet taste of victory comes away against the Raiders at home.
We'll figure it out.
Yo, Nation, I don't care whose chat you're in right now. Get on over to the AFC West Roundtable and flame the fuck out of the rest of these teams in our division because, big bro, we gonna talk about this shit later, bro.
Yeah. Hey, we got to put something together tomorrow too. So I'm gonna holler at you, Jake, my brother, man. Good to have you once again. It's always good to see you, man. Little bro, you already know we'll be together this weekend covering the game, play by play. For those who want to watch with the nation, we will be here in full swing. Make sure you pull up to my channel and Hammer's channel. We'll be simulcasting. Other than that, man, let me get the hell out of here before I breach my contract. Salute to y'all in the building. As always, wipe them feet on the way out. Break them thumbs on the way out. Hit that subscribe button. We're out. Peace.